Hey Daryl, welcome to the Community Living Golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll then go ahead and put you back in your address position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's first of all just take a look at your posture. Spine is straight, not a slight tilt. Legs come down in a nicely unlocked position. Your arms hang down off your tilted spine. Club works out to the ball, so you're achieving good posture. Also in association with some good balance there. Next thing we want to observe is your alignment. See your feet aiming out in this direction just a little. We'll carry that forward to the fairway. Now theoretically your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging, and nonetheless we're set up down the right edge of the fairway. Therefore we're going to see some form of compensation to try and get the ball back to the middle of the fairway. Whether that's swinging the club on plane, flipping the hands to impart right to left spin, starting the ball somewhere out to the right based on where you're aimed, and then trying to draw or hook the ball back online will be a possibility. And or you'll come over the top and end up attacking the ball from the outside, moving the club to the inside and trying to pull the ball back online. Let's go ahead, actually, before we go ahead and take a look at the dynamic move, one of the things I do want to point out is subconsciously already, your upper body relative to your lower body, see how we can see your left arm underneath here? Your arms right now are going left, and so are your shoulders. So your upper body, your shoulders and arms are already telling you that you're wanting to hit the ball this way relative to your feet and your target line going out in this direction. So your subconscious brain is already telling you, hey, I got to hit the ball left because I'm aimed to the right. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Brandt Snedeker. Now we got some color-coded lines on the screen just as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. We can see with Snedeker as he initiates his takeaway, creates good shoulder rotation, bring the arms and hands back as well as the club. And the club's coming back on plane directly along the red line. At this point in time, we're going to start to develop some wrist hinge into play. It's going to allow the club head to transition from being below his hands to now being above. Then we're going to work the golf club from red up to yellow, completing the shoulder rotation, getting the left arm of the club situated on the yellow line, and doing all this about a very stable right leg with the weight on the inside part of the right foot. With you, we watch you initiate your takeaway here. See where your arms are right now and your shoulders? Your arms and shoulders right now are square to your feet. So that would be a much better upper body and lower body relationship. That's what you need to feel at address. So at this point in time, the club should be behind the ball. Shoulders, arms, hips, knees, and feet should all be in this position. But then we need to take that entire position and we need to rotate it to the left so that your feet are running parallel to your target line, like railroad tracks. So your club face would run at the target, the middle of the fairway. Your feet would run parallel left. And if your feet are running parallel left, then your knees, your hips, your arms, and your shoulders should follow. So the only issue here is that, yeah, everything looks great now with your shoulders, arms relative to your lower body. Only problem is you've brought the club back about almost 2 feet already. As we continue to bring the golf club back, you continue with great shoulder rotation, great arm activity with the club. Club's coming back on perfect plane. Everything's looking really good. We get some wrist hinge into play. That looks great. And as we continue to work the golf club back to the top, we continue with the shoulder rotation. You get your arms in good position with respect to the club, stable right side. So everything looks pretty solid to the top here. It looks really, really good. As we create a transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind our core, and fire our hands. And in doing so, we got to bring the club from yellow back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here with Brandt Snedeker. The club is returned back to plane. Next thing we want to take a look at is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. We refer to that as the backwards check mark. Simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands. Therefore, we're retaining angle coming into the hitting zone, and it's going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing, let alone getting the club to return back to plane, as we already pointed out, which is ultimately also going to allow us to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment. With you, we watch you create your downswing. Nice strong move with your feet, knees, and hips. Hands are dropping with the golf club, but your hands are moving out in front of you, over the top. So with your hands being pushed out in front of you, that's going to have a major influence on the club head. The club head's going to continue to track down yellow out towards blue. The club is never going to return back to the red line. So we just connect the dots here. Your club basically tracked in the golf ball from over the top and too steep. Never returned back to the red line. That is going to influence the swing path. Actually, I should have, let me see if I can put those lines back up. So let's just track Snedeker's club coming into the ball. And we can see his club comes into the ball directly from the red line, directly from on plane. And again, this is what's going to allow him to hit the ball straight in accordance to his alignment. So very different downswing planes. Therefore, we're going to have very different swing paths. So the swing path with Snedeker, he's got the club inside the ball. It expands out and makes contact. It then moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is outside the ball, drops down and across to make contact. Completely different swing paths. So if you happen to square the club face up to this path, you will pull the ball in this direction. Now in your case, let's go back to address. I had already stipulated that your feet were set up a little bit closed. Club face should run parallel to the feet. Parallel lines on camera converge. We're set up to hit the right edge of the fairway. We know the center of the fairway is back over here. Well, there's your compensation. You're swinging the golf club from outside to inside, and you're trying to pull the ball down the red line to the yellow flag. And that's your compensation. The only issue is if the club releases, then what ends up happening is the ball follows red and it will continue to move left due to the fact of right to left spin. We'll hit a pull draw or a pull hook. If we under release the golf club, ball follows red, has left to right spin, and we end up slicing the ball out in this direction. If we time it perfectly, it follows red, and then we might just hit a little butter fade and stays towards the yellow flag and doesn't hurt us at all. So you either hit a pull straight shot or a subtle pull fade. So when we swing the club on the yellow path out to in, if we over release the club, it's going left down the yellow arrows. If we under release the club, it's following the blue arrows. And if we time it perfect, it stays on red, goes to yellow, or it may even follow those little red arrows and hit just a little butter fade. That's not going to hurt us at all. Okay? So you get through this golf shot, out to in. We see the ball tracking right down red towards the yellow flag, so you have pulled the ball on line. And then again, depending on what the club face did, will dictate where that ball ends up. As you carry yourself through, it looks like you got some really great athleticism through the ball, just like Snedeker. Right heel comes off the ground. We get up on the toe of the right foot so we can count all the spikes in the shoe. This gets all our weight to our left side, allows our hips to square around, shoulders to fully rotate, hands get high, club back in behind us. And we see a nice athletic move from you, certainly through to the finishing position. So you got a great looking golf swing, super athletic, hands work well, back fire through awesome, shoulders rotate, uncoil. You move yourself to a good finish because you have good footwork. Setup looks really strong with your posture and your balance. Unfortunately, your alignment's a little to the right and causes you to attack the ball a little from over the top, out to in, and ultimately just trying to pull the ball back online. And if the timing's good, it'll all work out. If we over-release, it's going left. Under-release it again, it's going right. So 3 things we need to be super consistent. We have to have good aim, good downswing plane, and good grip. Unfortunately, your alignment's to the right. Unfortunately, therefore, your downswing is over the top to compensate. And at that point in time, you're going to be compensating with the club face. So it's very difficult to be consistent, only because you don't have any of the 3 criterias that are required to be consistent. Good aim, good downswing plane, and good grip. It doesn't mean you can't hit good golf shots. Certainly can because you're super athletic. And it really just comes down to timing. You just got to be able to put that club face in a perfect position all day long to hit basically what I'm going to say are are pull fades or power fades. Now on this particular hole, it actually requires a power fade, so this shot might actually turn out perfect because you're starting it pretty much right down the middle, and then if you did leave the face open and impart a little bit of left or right spin, that ball will fade right around that corner and it'll be absolutely good, great golf shot. But this kind of golf swing on a hole that requires a right to left movement or a shot that's required to be straight, it really won't turn out to be the same. Okay. Anyways, if at any point in time you want to work on any of these aspects, certainly feel free to give me a call. I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. All my contact information is at the end of this analysis. Also, if you're involved with any tournaments or you're looking to, or you're on the committee for any tournaments and you're looking to provide the guests with a unique gift, certainly feel free to contact me regarding my swing analysis services for corporate events. Anyways, I hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. And hope you enjoy the rest of your summer.